So the merchandising side of fashion design is really it includes visual design, it includes marketing. It's basically the side that sells the clothes to the customer.
Oh,
So
so you got a kind of
yeah,
practical training into business
in both, yes.
in both.
So what
Yeah.
I did was that I minored in merchandising so that I would still be able to get the business classes, because merchandising, you have to, they part of the business school classes you have to take, as well
Hmm.
as the marketing classes as well. So I minored in merchandising so I wouldn't have to double major in business and
In
design.
business.
Yeah. Um, just because, they said it was a little bit easier instead of having to move into a new faculty. It was easier to stay within the same faculty but find a way to get the different classes that you wanted. So I was able to do marketing and some business classes within that as well. Um, yeah, but I mean, fashion merchandising and design go hand in hand.
Hand in
There's
hand.
there's no way you can design something and not have a merchandising aspect to get it to the customer. From the simple thing of seeing store displays, that's visual merchandising. Those people literally create art in the displays, and that's what you gravitate towards as a customer when you walk into a store. And so all of that is parts of the fashion
Yes, yes.
industry that people don't necessarily realize.
Even how to dress your mannequin to put in a
Yeah,
showcase.
exactly. Yeah.
So yes, the level of your extra education, you would be able to see whether your business is growing, where it is lacking. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
You would know how much to put out in an area, and you will know how soon to move that design and put another design.
Yeah,
You see,
exactly.
what some people doesn't understand is that they fix their showcase, and that is my showcase.
Hmm.
Is that the right principle?
No, well, I think it depends on the market that you're in. So there's so much that goes into as far as research. Design and fashion and merchandising is heavily research based. So even when I'm designing a collection, I have to do research on what market am I trying to get into, what are the colors that
Hey.
this market gravitates towards, what is the size, like what does that woman in that market look like, so how am I designing for that woman, what is she wearing, what is her age, all of those little aspects. And then also, can she afford it, what can she afford, what can't she afford, and then that trickles down to the type of fabrics that we're able to use and the type of
Hmm.
fixtures that we're able to use, because depending on the fabrics and depending on the fixtures, that changes the price point of everything. And also you have to take into consideration the climate that you are in. If you are in a cold climate, if you're in a warm climate, if you're in a in between, so do you create a seasonless collection? Do you create a collection that's specific to fall or summer?
Hmm.
It's a lot of research that goes behind it. And it's a lot of stuff in the background that people don't see or don't necessarily know that we have to think about to make products for you as a consumer. So,
Oh my goodness. I want to
mhm.
ask I want to ask the audience a question. How impressed are you guys with this young talented entrepreneur in fashion? Mind you, she's creating and designing her own fashion. How impressed are you? Throw up some hearts. Let us see some hearts. Send some love for this young woman. Love to encourage her. Love to push her forward. Love to block the enemies. Yes, yes, love to block the enemies. Love to block the naysayers. Because, dear God, you know that because she came from a certain breed and a certain family tree and a certain class of human being, women, strong fighting women, a predominantly brave and strong Jamaican father, guide, guard, and
Thank
protect
you.
young
Thank you.
Dayle
Thank you. Thank you.
Abeje, like Apple J. Yes, Abeje. You might see the name and you find it. Just remember, she told me today, just remember Apple J.
Thank you, Jabril. I just saw one of my friends from school is actually tuning in.
Yes,
So
yeah, you could.
yeah.
Oh, Jabril Malik Hassan.
Yes.
Yes, yes, you have to block them, dear God. We want to block them. Father, block them and open the way and the doors for this young woman. This, you know, I'm into young people. Anytime young people doing anything, even if they're doing bad, I want to deal with you because bad is only according to what situation your mind is in. And today I pray for growth and I pray for success and I pray for longevity and I pray that God will continue to block the enemy. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Block the enemies. Are you a Catholic, you said?
Yes.
Tell us about your praying schemes and we're going straight now. There are big things about to happen. Let me prepare the audience that we are about to go into Dayle's fashion show. Dayle,
Yeah.
tell us about that.
About
What
my
led you
fashion
to
stuff.
come? What led you to come home?
Oh, so I didn't necessarily come home. Coming home was not my first choice. At the point in time, it just was the choice that made the most sense at the time. Financially, I mean, I tried getting jobs after school. I wasn't necessarily the most diligent at applying to jobs while I was still in school because I didn't. There are certain things that I think a lot of American students have a leg up on, where it's like learning and knowing that okay, once you reach your senior year, you have to start applying, you have to start doing different things to make sure that once you get out of school, you have a job security. I didn't necessarily learn that. So even though I was in the system, there are certain things that they are learning since they're in like high school that I didn't necessarily have access to. So yeah, I wasn't as diligent as I should have been. And at the point in time when I left school and when I finished school, I did an internship with Charmaine Spicer, who is a designer from Tobago.
My girl, my
And
girl, my girl.
yes,
Congratulations,
and
Charmaine.
she was an amazing tutor. And I had a wonderful internship with her. It got cut a little bit short, but I still was able to complete enough hours for my degree program. After the
So,
internship,
so in a sense, you went back to the States, but when you were still operating as a Trinidad girl, not recognizing that you are American, you are Yankee. So you had supposed to
yeah,
find out the things that's available to you. Come on now.
yeah,
Come
yes,
on now. The things
exactly,
that were available to you.
exactly
You
at the
still didn't
time.
understand, well, I'm home and certain things are
Are
necessary
expected and
and
necessary. Yeah,
expected and it's there for you. You don't have to
yeah,
work too hard, it's there.
yeah,
Because you have that passport, you have your social security card. You understand me?
yeah.
You went home, but you still was behaving as if you in Trinidad when it come
Yeah.
to really.
I didn't necessarily have a connection to the States, honestly. Like
I
if
know, I
anybody ever
know.
asked me, the first thing I would say is that I'm Caribbean.
Ooh,
Most
look
people
only
don't
Danielle.
know.
Look at
Yeah.
the kind of love coming up for you. Look the kind of
Thank
look the
you.
praises. Yes, man. Yes. Shelly Dixon is
Yeah.
saying great job, Dayle. Pamela
That's
Martin
my
is saying
aunt.
very
Thank you very much, Auntie
impressive.
Shelley.
Yeah. That is your auntie?
Yeah, that was my aunt. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, Shelly. Hey, Auntie Shelly, thank you so much for joining the live to listen to your niece here now. Very impressive, Dayle. Pamela Martin is saying, hats off to you,
Thank
dear.
you. I
On
appreciate it.
yes, on all your accomplishment. I plead the blood of Jesus over you and your business, on your business endeavors. I cover you in the almighty name of God. No weapons formed against you shall not and will not prosper against you in Jesus' name.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
look at what this gentleman is saying. Dayle seems to be very level-headed, cool, calm, and collective.
you
Hello.
find so? You find so?
Yes, she seems very promising. Congratulations.
Thank you. I
And he
appreciate it.
said, and he's saying to you, he is impressed.
Thanks.
Lydia Hernandez is saying, beauty and brain, so proud of you. Wow,
Thank you.
smile, smile. Show them that Daddy teeth. Show them that daddy teeth. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, man. Yeah, you sir.
Mm-hmm.
So Dale, tell us about your journey to becoming a professional and
Mm-hmm.
international fashion designer who now has her own fashion house. That's the
Yeah.
same one.
So coming home wasn't my first choice, as I was saying. It was a very hard decision to make, but the best decision at the time. I came home and you have the high of just like finishing your degree and you just like, you're fresh out of school and you're just like, you want to do so many things and then you come home and there's no industry here.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, and there's no industry here. So I what I would have learned in school and how they would have taught us was for us to learn to become designers and work in another corporation or work in another design house. They weren't necessarily teaching you to actually have your own business,
As
right?
yet. As
As
yet.
yet. And so and that's just because I mean the space in the US is so saturated that most times when they actually taught designers, they were teaching them to actually be able to work in a corporation and work for other companies, which nothing is wrong with that. Because you still have designers who are very highly paid working in corporations and companies for other companies, right?
Companies, yes.
Um, and so I came home and I was just like, there's nothing here. There's no corporation for me to go work with because we don't have any big design houses here that take multiple designers. Most of the companies here or design houses here are headed by one designer and they are their brand, right? So at that point in time, I was just like, okay, what are we going to do? And I got very depressed. It wasn't a great time for me. I was very, very depressed
Oh,
coming back home. And I felt like, like I just wasted 4 years of tuition, 4 years of time, 4 years of stress. Like, what
oh
did I
my
do this
God.
for? I should have just done medicine or ortho and just, came and worked and like took over the business or something. And at that point in time, my mom was just like, just doing your own thing, just start, just create, just create something every day and
Wow.
just try to create. And my mom is really the one who pushed me because
Hey.
without her, like, I don't know what I would have been doing. And she, at the point in time, had met someone and who was working and doing fashion management in Trinidad. And she would have just put me in touch with them. And through that, I was like, okay, this person seems like they know what they're doing. Let me see if I can actually like make a connection and learn from this person, see if they could help me out to figure out how am I going to start a business? How am I going to actually create a design house? I don't necessarily want to do custom design all the time. I actually want to have a ready to wear collection, that people will see in a store and just pick up off the rack and
Off
buy.
the rack, yes.
Right. So I met that person and I started working with them. And then from that, I would have been asked to design a costume for Brian McFarlane in 2017.
Oh.
And so that really kind of got me into the fashion in Trinidad. I started meeting more people in Trinidad because of that connection that was made then. I would have
But
done the
but
costume.
but there was always a room for Carnival to design Carnival costumes. You never think of.
No, just wasn't into carnival at the time. I hadn't played mass as an adult. It just wasn't something that occurred to me that I could do. I didn't specialize in carnival costumes when I was at school. I didn't design anything like it, so I just never thought that it's something I would be able to do. And when I was asked to do it, I was very much intimidated because, first of all, it's Brian McFarlane. And
Yeah.
second, I felt like, okay, I've never done this before. How am I going to be able to accomplish this? And it was just a leap of faith. I went in and I designed, I tweaked the design. I did whatever we needed to do to get it to the point where it needed to be to show. And yeah, I had my own section in that band at the time.
Ah.
And
How
it
did
was
your
a
section do?
it was a learning experience. So we didn't do bad. However, it got me into understanding manufacturing, the manufacturing side more. Because to make the costumes, I would have done all um, the headpieces, the accessories, everything myself, right? And so that's doing about like 40, we did about like 40 costumes. And so that was me doing each headpiece myself, wrapping everything myself. So I learned about carnival costume making and like going into a wire bender and showing him my design and him actually making a wireframe custom for me.
Just give me 1 minute.
Yes.
You go ahead.
Yeah. And so basically after that, I would have just kind of learned quality control and basically how to you will get something done by someone and just making sure that it's consistent each time. Yeah. I don't know what else to say until Miss Coco comes back. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much. She is a very caring and supportive person. Okay. I'm just going to read some comments. Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy that I'm able to, actually make an impact to somebody today. Um, I really appreciate it. O'Neill, Daniel, thank you. Let me see. Is there any other comments? So, thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate it. Yes, we have a lot of strong women in our family. Yes.
Yes, I'm back. You know, something is about to happen here later with my son. He's shooting a show here.
Oh, nice. Very
So
nice.
he's makeup artist and stuff. These people just came in.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't hear what you said, but I know you were talking about that. And so now we having another question coming up.
Yes.
Are we gonna have a break or are we gonna go straight into?
We can go straight into the question.
Yeah. So you were finished talking about the
The
designing for the
experience.
carnival.
Yeah.
Yes. So you learn a lot there. So would you participate ever again doing costumes if
Carnival.
asked?
If asked, I think it would be specific to how do I put this? More traditional mass. I don't think necessarily my niche would work for the more
That's huge.
I think it would be more traditional costumes in a
Traditional
sense. I
costume.
wouldn't necessarily do I don't want to say beads and feathers because there's a lot of design that goes into those that even though we may see
Yes.
beads and feathers, there's a lot of design that goes into that. So I don't want to call it beads and feathers, but the more mainstream costumes, I don't necessarily think my aesthetic would suit that.
Okay.
My aesthetic would more suit traditional costumes.
So in order to boost Tobago carnival or heritage, do you have anything to say about if you would ever design or come out with your own
With my own
band?
band. I wouldn't come out with my own band. A, it's a lot of dedication and time, and there's a lot that goes into having a band. You know, I don't think I necessarily want to have a band. It's too much for me. But if I'm asked to design for a band, I don't mind. I would like to do that.
Nice.
There's a new band that has started up in Tobago. I know Zane, and they kind of tried to fuse the mainstream costumes with a little bit more of like what Tobagonians would necessarily like to wear. So it's a little bit more conservative. And I
Ah,
thought that was really cool, and I appreciated that to see that because it got them into the pretty mass a little bit more of the younger people into pretty mass because we've always had pretty mass happening, but a lot of
yes.
young people prefer to go to Trinidad. So I know a lot of people actually this year, a couple of people from Tobago stayed back just so that they could play with Zane. So I thought that was very cool, and it's something to be said about moving forward and finding a way to get the youth back involved in Tobago Carnival itself.
And to bring some tourists instead of all tourists going to Trinidad.
Yeah,
One thing I
and
wanted to
we.
ask you before we get into this, you know, do you think we should have our own Carnival Day?
I feel like that's a hard question to answer. I think I don't necessarily have all the information as far as tradition goes.
No, because of
Um,
the crowd and
no,
the
I
people who
understand.
travel from abroad, everybody
I
usually
understand
would
that.
stay in Trinidad and just come to
Yeah,
Tobago for after the carnival.
I
So,
understand that. I think it traditionally we do have a carnival, right? And it is very hard to say, well, let's just move away from tradition and switch it to a different time of year or a different day. Which is why I said I don't necessarily have all the information to be able to answer that question correctly or in full.
so
Um,
like, so like people like you who are young budding designers, the world will see you more. The world will
yeah.
come, tourists will come, just come to Tobago to see and to learn and to appreciate. You understand me? People
Yeah.
like you,
Well,
when I say people like you, I
what
mean
I was,
young designers.
yeah, what I was going to say is what they did last year that I do know was that, well, this year, is that they marketed it as come to Tobago, you play pretty mass, and then you relax and go to the beach. And a lot of people actually like played into that concept. And we've had, as far as our Juve, we've seen that we've brought in tourists to the island who specifically just want to come to Tobago and play Juve and relax right after. Because I mean, once you play mass, there are beaches literally right there. As you are walking on the street, there's a beach, And so the way in which they marketed it, I think if they continue with that type of marketing it as more of a safe, more relaxing version of carnival, I think we'll actually be able to attract more people, even young people like myself who don't necessarily want the very hype, very going from one party to the next every single day type of experience. You do have people who are a little bit more laid back, and I think they are tapping into that market more, which I appreciate. And I think if they continue to do that marketing well and placement well, they can do a lot with it.
We spent a Juve in Crown Point. We were there, my daughter, and
Yeah.
what you're saying there with the beach right there, it sounds it sounds
Yeah.
real and it was true.
Yeah.
However, we killed Scarborough, the main town
Yeah.
that used to be a place for Juve. So now and then Roxborough come back now. People think Juve in Roxborough is something new. No. Juve in Roxborough was always Juve.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, Roxborough, because remember in Roxborough we had many brass band, we had a steel band, we had Galaford had Wassa, Roxborough had its own steel band, Belgarden had their own steel band, and now I understand Charlottesville, I think, or Speyside, somewhere up there have their own steel band. But
Yeah.
I'm accustomed to Juve. But what I'm saying, for the for your industry, for your industry, I believe that something should be done so that you would be utilized and your business will flourish. International people will get to know that we have a internationally trained designer. Yes, that is in Tobago, and you are the founder of the house of Abeje.
Yeah.
So Dayle, tell us about the life that you have created for yourself as a fashion designer and founder of the house of Abeje.
What life have I created for myself? I think that I like having the flexibility of being able to have my own business. It allows me to be able to, let's say there's a pop-up shop in Trinidad, I can randomly just pick up and take everything and go to Trinidad. I don't necessarily have to stay in Tobago. What I I mean, it's being your own boss is very hard because I mean there are days when you want to be lazy, and it's hard to tell yourself don't be lazy because you are talking to yourself, right? But I think just the flexibility of being able to work in different places at different times. If it is that I need to travel, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm leaving the business behind. It just I can take the business along with me. It's commodities. So, people can always purchase stuff online. We're trying to actually revamp the website now, seeing that COVID has happened, and we had a website before, but we wanted to make it more user friendly. So just being able to make my own time, create my own schedule for myself. I'm not answering to somebody else. Not like I have a problem with that, but personally, I do enjoy that. Right now, it is just me. And, my mom advises me sometimes, but it's literally just me working. And so
Thank you, Mom.
yes, what I found that has helped recently is the spirit of collaboration with other young entrepreneurs. I've been working along with a couple stylists, a couple other designers, makeup artists,
From
just
from Tobago?
from Tobago. If there's one thing I kind of make sure to do is whenever I'm creating content, I use Tobago-centric people. I use photographers from Tobago as much as I can, models, people from Tobago as much as I can. And that
So
has really helped
so
me. Mhm.
so how hard it was for you to get to with dealing with our own Tobago people to get off the ground?
To get off the ground. Initially, it was a little tricky. I mean, I had support from people because they were just so proud of knowing that there's somebody from Tobago who does design. I had support. I had that support. But we are in a culture, and I knew this even when I was going back out to school because I would have had this conversation with my parents. We live in a society where we look outward first and then inward. So I would literally have to get big, or I would have to be recognized outside of Tobago first.
They'll I have to step away again. You keep talking.
Oh, I would have to be recognized outside of Tobago first before I actually am recognized in Tobago. So it was a little difficult from that standpoint of starting up and people not understanding necessarily what a designer is as opposed to what a seamstress is and why the price might be different, why I will say no to certain jobs. So I would say that aspect of it was a little bit different. But once you just continue to push and decide that this is what you want to do, you learn to say no to people when they ask, well, I just want you to make me a pants. That's not necessarily what I do. And you learn to just say politely, that's not necessarily what I do, but I can, suggest somebody else to you. And just having that spirit of like, just keep pushing to, do better and to just keep pushing myself has been able to help me get further along in the business and for the business to grow. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer while Miss Cuckoo is away? Oh, she's back. Bernadette. I need to do a workshop. I'm actually afraid of doing workshops. I'm afraid of especially with kids, I'm afraid of children. Yes, I think Tobago Carnival, it's slowly being improved. I think, being on the ground and actually seeing it, there are a lot of improvements that have been made. So, and I think it will continue to grow as we go along.
When you say you're afraid of children, what do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't realize you heard that. Children are intimidating. They ask a lot of questions, and sometimes you don't have answers to those questions. And it's just like, what am I going to tell this child? I don't know. you know,
But you had a chance. You had a chance with
with my
your,
brothers. Yeah.
your brother.
That's why I know that they can be very intimidating.
I love that. You're honest. You're
Yeah.
honest. So yeah, and because you're intimidating, and because they are intimidating to you, you will be
Yeah.
the teacher. You
No,
would be the best
but
teacher.
I feel like children can smell fear on you and they take advantage of that, you
That's
know?
fact. Oh, you see,
So,
psychologically, you are so witty. You are so smart. Your intuition is such an, oh my God, we don't need to investigate you. So to tell us about your fashion week in New York. Tell us about that because
yes.
we're going into your fashions now.
So,
We are 1 hour.
yes. So,
8 minutes, so we are almost 2 hours
Yeah,
up.
so almost all the time. Last year I would have been able to
It kind
do,
of, it kind
yeah,
of way, but then we are on time.
yeah.
Let's.
Last year I would have been able to do New York Fashion Week. I got in touch with Fashion Gallery New York, which is they're a team of people that actually have a platform that put together shows for different designers. So they supply the models, they supply makeup and everything. You have to just supply a logistics fee and a fee for them that you pay for being able to be on their platform. And then you more not the perfect storm, but the situation was perfect. The opportunity was perfect because at that point in time they had a discount, so I was actually able to afford it. Um, and well, you'll actually see a snippet of it here, but we would have released a line called OKUKUN, and it was based
Oh,
off
what's
of
the name of the
uh,
line?
yes, OKUKUN. It means centipede in Yoruba, and I just had an encounter in my house with a centipede. I'm very afraid of them. I don't enjoy them, and one almost ran on my foot in the dark. And I was telling my aunt about it, and she was like, "Why don't you name your collection that?" Because I was having a problem, having a hard time figuring out a name for the collection. So that's how I came up with that name.
We're not
Um,
rushing. We're not rushing. We take
yeah,
your time and let us
yeah.
get your fashion was
Mhm.
was from the thought of what, Aruba, Arubian.
So no. So the name of the collection
Kung kung,
comes from Okunkun is a Yoruba word. It's from
oh,
Nigeria. It's a
Aruba.
Nigerian word. Yes.
Yeah.
And it means centipede. And I had an encounter in my house where a centipede, it was a full grown 6 or 7 inch centipede, ran
Oh,
past my foot in the dark. And I turned on the light and I saw the centipede and I freaked out. And I was home alone, so I had to get rid of it myself. But I was telling my aunt this story because I was laughing at it, and she was like, why don't you name your collection that centipede? And I went and
wow.
found the another name for it, and that's what I decided to name the collection.
So
And out of that,
what are we looking at here now?
so this is the Okunkun collection that I would have showcased at the designers premiere in New York Fashion Week at Fashion Gallery, New
We missed
York.
New York, New York, yeah.
Yes, New York. Yes. And well, when it starts to play, I can kind of narrate it. But
So,
the
so,
collection we would have
so,
used.
so ladies
Mhm,
and gentlemen,
yeah.
we are about to see Dayle Abeje Angus internationally. She's in New York. This is New
Mhm.
York Fashion Week, one of the biggest fashion week around the world. New York, and and Dayle is here. Dayle, this is your fashion show, and narrate for.
Yes, so the neck pieces we would have come up with my friend who I collaborated with. I told him kind of like what I wanted the look for the collection to be. And when we were looking at the cover photo for the collection that we were going to use, I wanted something kind of like a crown or something to remind me of the centipede legs. And he came up with these neck pieces and made them custom for me. And I was able to carry them to Fashion Week and add them as an accessory to the clothing. So what
Wow.
you're seeing is a resort wear line. It would have been resort wear 2020. And yeah, so
And this one.
yeah, so the pieces were based off of some styles that I would have done before, and I wanted to stick with simplicity, but also to add pops of color into it. And just my style is basically based off of comfort, and I just find that like whatever you're wearing, you should be very comfortable in it. I don't like to
Jamaica,
feel restrictive.
Jamaica
Yeah.
Tobago. We are in New York City. Fashion
Hmm.
Week.
Yeah. So I don't like to feel restricted in clothing, so I design my clothing to be very comfortable and very easygoing and easy to dress up and dress down.
Ah, very
Yeah.
nice. But look at this. I love
Yeah.
Dayle on big platform, girl. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you. And so the print, the pattern fabric that you're seeing is actually a print that I designed myself,
Oh,
and I got it. Yeah, I designed the prints myself. Yeah,
you designed the prints.
yeah, the prints myself. So
Show some hearts. You guys show some hearts. This is huge. This is this young woman from Tobago, Jamaica, from Jamaica and Tobago with her fashion. Dayle, congratulations.
thank you.
Dayle, you are putting Tobago on the map here. Big times. Look at this. Wow. Look at you, Dayle.
Hmm.
You. We are proud of you.
Thank
Awesome.
you. I appreciate it.
So right there in Tobago, look what we have in here in New York.
Hmm.
I love this. I love this.
Thank you. It's like my favorite top.
Yeah, look, yes. Wow. Dayle, Dayle, Dayle. I love your prints, girl. I love the prints that you design your own print. My goodness.
Thank you.
Tobago, come on, Tobago. We got to do some shopping here. So they are all returning and you be there too?
Yeah, I'm gonna come out last.
Wow. Whoa. Send some hearts up, people. Send some hearts up. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So this is Dayle Angus.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations, my
Thank
darling.
you. Thank you.
You have raised the bar of fashion in Tobago. You're right where you should be. New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
This is a powerful place to be. Yes.
Yeah, I
You have to
cried
get,
after.
you have to get ready to
Yeah.
use praise to block the enemy. Yes, this is very
Mhm.
covetous, you know. This is a movement that people gonna be envious, you know. Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I pray that God would surround you and protect you
Thank
and
you.
keep you in
Thank you,
perfect.
Auntie Shelley. Mhm.
Yes, Cynthia Alman
Thank
is
you very much.
congratulations and well done, Dayle. Hello.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Joanne coming and said, I'm in love with the purple outfit.
Hmm.
Hello. Cynthia Alman is saying, I love your choice of music too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Even your music getting pump up. Jessica Jones is
Hmm.
saying, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. TJ Lewis Baird is saying, proud of you, Dayle.
I
Thank
appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you. Yes. Yes. Jamelia Jacobson is saying stunning. Dayle, it's very good. Anything to buy.
Right.
That's my cousin and she lives in London.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Somebody said I could see myself rocking the necklace. Wow, Cynthia. Cynthia Alman, well, I know you always just in
Yeah.
sexy girl. Yes.
Hmm.
She said, next stop, London.
London. Yeah.
Well, speak
Hmm.
it. Speak
Yeah.
truth to power. Speak life. Speak life. That's what we were told to do all the time. Speak life. Yes. Joanne Cummings, he said, you are welcome. Yes, Joanne, I know you will wear
Yeah.
that. I know you will like them, that
Yeah.
purple outfit. Well, Dayle, you have
To
put
answer, sorry, to answer the questions about if we have anything to purchase or anything, we're actually in the middle of revamping everything. So the collections, we are doing a new collection. It will include some of the pieces that you see, that you saw, but the colors will be a little bit different. I'm trying to actually do my own custom fabrics, so the fabrics would actually be like hand tie-dyed or hand, made by myself.
and
Yeah. So we are looking for hopefully by December to actually have a full rollout of everything new, as well as the website will be launched by then. So, and that will include maybe some men's pieces. Supposed to be a surprise. So, the guys can look forward to that, because a lot of guys have been asking me for a while if I'm ever going to do men's. So I have a couple things up my sleeve coming. So, yeah.
well. To God be the glory. To whom much to whom much is given, much is required of the same. Today I
Mm-hmm.
want to thank your parents, thank your mom, thank your father, thank your grandparents, thank to all your aunts and uncles, especially the one that always taking in everybody who
Mm-hmm.
comes to America to further themselves. Yes, I am happy for family.
Yeah.
I'm happy to know that we still have people that could talk about a good relative, a good auntie, a good uncle,
Yeah.
because we know a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, once they travel away from the Caribbean and they come to America, they change. They don't think about family. They don't respect
Yeah.
what you want to go after or what you want to do. So we say thanks to Auntie, and and quite frankly, I have to lift you up because you are the lady with the ambition. You are the lady with the tenacity
Thank you.
who went through, as you said, when you get back home and there wasn't a market yet, there wasn't any built-in stuff waiting for you, and you went through that small the depression. You are the lady
Mm-hmm.
with the talent, you know. And as you mentioned, Charming Spicer, my friend, when I heard that you were away, there is where is her name I heard that
Mm-hmm.
they and Charming doing such great work with you and for you. So we give
Yes. Mm-hmm.
praise to friendship, praises to family, and a lot of praises to you. And may we continue to put prayers around you. So, Hail Mary, Mother of God, full of
Thank
grace.
you.
Yes, Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with you. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Today we send that prayer out with you and for you. You see, and a lot of people doesn't recognize that the kind of prayers that we need is the kind of prayers that we believe. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And if it could work for you by yourself, we are going to ask that you continue and walk in grace, in meekness. And we pray for prosperity and posterity around you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Thank
as
you
a
so much for having me on.
and
Thank you for everybody who tuned in.
as him.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. Ever since I was younger, you have been very kind and always there, and just a lovely person to be around. So I appreciate that. And it's just very heartwarming to see how far you have come and how far your children have gone, to actually be international people, really just pushing Tobago forward and actually pushing the envelope when it comes to being able to show children in Tobago what they can be, what they can aspire to. I really appreciate that, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, you are so welcome. Desron Philip is saying something there.
Hmm.
Joanne Melville is saying, excellent. We need to appreciate our own too. Yes, Joanne. Joanne Melville will
Thank
be
you.
on this Joanne Melville, who is in England. She will be on my
Hmm.
show next, I think it's next week. I think Joanne
Wow.
will be up next weekend or next week or the following week. But Joanne Melville will be there. Yes, Joanne. Joanne said
I'll
we all
definitely tune in to see.
the opportunity to develop Tobago. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. One step forward and no step backward. No, many steps forward and no step backward. We are moving
Yeah.
on. We are pushing Tobago. We are creating, we are making sure that, every creed and race could find an equal place. Yes, and wherever we go, we should be able to boast of unity as Trinidad and Tobagonians. Yes.
Yeah.